So we're going to be discussing how do we get our Liferay 6.2 portlet to work in Liferay 7.1, and we'll also discuss what does the conversion process from your traditional war to the OSGI world look like. So 2 parts here, or 2 aspects we're going to be covering. So first things first, right? Going from 6.2 to Liferay DXP. When we're discussing this, as mentioned earlier, Liferay DXP does still support your traditional war architecture. So that's perfectly fine there. If you want to go and convert to OSGI, we're saying, yeah, just get the war into Liferay 7.1, right? So make sure you can get your stuff into Liferay 7.1 first. We'll deal with converting to OSGI later. So we want to first get the portlet upgraded to Liferay DXP, get it working as a war, and then we'll convert later if we want. So what does the upgrade steps look like? Just as we discussed previously, we're going to first update our code to adhere to all of the API changes, all of the property changes, and so on. Once we do, we're going to then need to resolve some dependencies. Again, some things might have moved or shifted between versions, so we need to find those things out. Did something move? Did something change? Maybe something got deprecated. Maybe something disappeared. So we're going to need to do some investigation. We talked about the upgrade tool as a huge help for us to figure out a lot of these things. It'll still leave a little bit for us to do, but it does take care of a lot of the work. So be sure to leverage that upgrade tool. So we're going to start off talking about upgrading our Portlet plugin, right? Now, when we go through it, we're going to talk about it generically, but these steps can be applied to whichever Portlet framework you're using, whether generic Portlet, Liferay's MVC Portlet, or Spring MVC Portlet. So first off, right, we're going to get our plugins SDK, we're going to get our project into that code upgrade tool, run it, and get all of those easy fixes done for us. From there, we're not quite done yet. Even if all of the code is resolved, all of the properties are taken care of, we might still need to resolve some of our dependencies. Again, things may have moved. We need to account for that. Finally, once we resolve those dependencies, we'll then need to rerun Service Builder, again, only if we're using Liferay's MVC Portlet, right? And that's kind of it, right? So it seems like 2 to 3 easy steps, but, right, it can be a lot of work in between those steps. So we're going to be taking a look at upgrading an application from Liferay 6.2. If you've taken Liferay 6.2 training, more specifically the Developer 1 course, this may look a little bit familiar to you. We have a portlet in which we call the parts inventory portlet. It's going to consist of 2 separate portlets. One of them is going to be a manufacturer portlet. The other is going to be a parts portlet. So the first aspect of the application revolves around this manufacturer portlet. We're pretending as if we are part of a manufacturer company, and we have a portlet that's going to help us specify a specific manufacturer. And then we'll have another portlet, the parts portlet, which is used to create parts from a specific manufacturer. So that's the idea. So here in the manufacturer portlet, you can specify the details of a specific manufacturer. So as we do, it's going to display in a list view like so, and you'll be able to configure each individual one. Over at the parts portlet, it's going to be somewhat of a similar idea. You can create a part with all of the different attributes of that specific part and specify a manufacturer that you want to create the parts from. So over in the manufacturer portlet, we might create, Acme Corporation. And then over in the parts portlet, you can create anvils from the Acme Corporation. As we create those parts, it'll display in a list view like so within the portlet. So that's the basic functionality. We create parts and manufacturers using these 2 portlets that we have developed over in Liferay 6.2. This is an MVC portlet, so it's going to be following Liferay standards. We're going to need to rerun Service Builder, and of course we'll resolve our dependencies. So run the upgrade tool, fix some of the things that need to be fixed, resolve dependencies, rerun service builder. So we're going to be walking through an exercise here. We're going to do this all together. We're going to start off by installing Liferay Developer Studio. We'll launch it, and then we'll launch the code upgrade tool. Once we launch the upgrade tool, we're going to bring in our plugins SDK coming over from Liferay 6.2. From there, what we'll do next is we'll use the upgrade tool to find some of the breaking changes. It'll give us a list of everything that's wrong, and then we'll take a look and see what changes does the upgrade tool resolve for us. So it'll automatically fix some of them. We might have some others that we'll need to fix on our own by hand. Once we do that, we'll then need to configure some of the properties that have kind of been shifted around between Liferay versions. So what we'll do is we'll create a file called portaldeveloper.properties, right? We'll then let the upgrade tool know, hey, we fixed some of these things, don't worry about it. We'll update our XMLs and DTDs if needed, in this case XMLs. We'll rerun service builder, and then we'll build the portlet. Not quite out of the woods there. We'll still need to resolve our dependencies and do a little bit of fixing from there. But that's going to be the general idea as we go through with that exercise. So again, as a recap, we're going to be installing Liferay Developer Studio, using the upgrade tool to fix the errors, the changes within our parts inventory portlet. And then finally, right, once we run through all of the steps, we'll do some fixing of the code by hand. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what that looks like.